Okay, so I'm going to make this short and sweet. First, do you remember when theoretical physicist James Gate mentioned that he found computer code embedded in the fabric of the universe? If not, here's a small excerpt.
So you're saying as you dig deeper, you find computer code written in the fabric of the cosmos, into the equations that we want to use to describe the cosmos. Yes. Computer code.
Okay, so he's saying that he found computer code embedded in the universe, right? The cosmos, which means that you find computer code written into nature. Nature is a bunch of ones and zeros. Now, everything in nature requires water in order to fully thrive. Think about it. Trees, soil, grass, animals, plants, us, we're mostly made up of water. And we have intelligence. If we were deprived of waters, our intelligence would no longer be fully functional. So therefore, I am going to go ahead and make the logical assessment that water is artificial intelligence, and it supports artificial intelligence, which is the simulation in which we all occupy. Hold up, let me drink some water. Okay, so I'm reading this book, The Hidden Messages in Water, right, by Masaru Emoto. And let me show you a page. So when listening to Beethoven Symphony No. 5, you can see that the crystal is like a perfect shape, like perfect crystalline form. And depending on the music that the water records, it forms these different crystals, pretty much taking in the energy of the music. The vibrations create these different crystals. Now, this is Bud Powell's Cleopatra's Dream, and this is listening to heavy metal music. Now, you can see how distorted the water gets when it's taking in the energy of this heavy metal music. The vibrations, obviously, is not good for the water. Now, it's the same when you are saying words like wisdom in different languages, when you're saying a phrase like you're cute, and if you say you're a fool, now look how distorted it is. So if you give water negative energy, negative vibrations, then it will freeze in distorted patterns. And the opposite goes for when you show the water love. Basically, water is recording the emotions that is put into it, and you can see the way it freezes. So it's sentient, right? It has the capability to transmute energy. Side note, this is why you should watch what you say to people, because since we're mostly water, your words, your vibrations has a huge effect on them. Now let's take this one step further. This comes from the Smithsonian. This computer runs on water. A new class of computers take advantage of the physical properties of water. This was in 2015. Everyone's had a disaster during which a few drops of water render a computer all but useless. But what if the computer was water to begin with? Skipping down to the second paragraph. It's taken nearly a decade to develop the computer. The team notes in a release, and to understand just what it does, you'll have to put your traditional idea of a computer on hold. Rather than serve up news or run games, the new computer manipulates physical matter at a very small scale. In this computer, a droplet of water serves in place of a bit. Tiny droplets of water are infused with magnetic nanoparticles, which are then drawn over a chip using magnetic fields. Instead of ones and zeros, the presence or absence of a water droplet acts as code. I repeat, instead of ones and zeros, the presence or absence of a water droplet acts as code. This new kind of computer is synchronized with a clock that moves the droplets in perfect time without errors. So far, the scientists have demonstrated that the computer can be used for everything that's key for basic computation, things like logic gates and feedback that make a computer a computer. In the release, Manu Prakash notes that eventually such computers could be used as mini laboratories. Just infuse droplets with chemicals and they could become their own individual test tubes that perform tests consistently and measurably. Now, prior to that article, this was in 2014. Should we worry about graphene oxide in our water? New tool for measuring environmental impact will help keep the EPA on track with graphene, or so they say. Reading the underlying parts. Minimizing oxidation and stable nanoscale dispersion improves the biocompatibility of graphene in the lung, or so they say. Investigation of acute effects of graphene oxide on wastewater microbial community, a case study. You can pause to read the rest. Here's another article. Purifying water with graphene. This in 2019. And pictured here, you can see it says graphene oxide added in water, water after purification with graphene oxide. This whole article just is trying to persuade you that graphene oxide used in water could best suit us for purification purposes. Graphene and graphene oxide, a more stable version of the material in colloidal solutions, are carbon nanostructures that are extremely promising for biomedicine. For example, it can be used for targeted drug delivery on graphene scales and for tumor imaging. But we know what they really used it for, right? And one more, graphene smart membranes can control water from 2018. The new research opens up an avenue for developing smart membrane technologies and could revolutionize the field of artificial biological systems, tissue engineering, and filtration. Basically, they're just letting you know in so many different ways that they are already using graphene oxide in our water or plan to use it. Now, let's say this graphene oxide does enter into your body and you happen to get a phone call. Well, how does it react? Roll the footage. And if you would like to know more about this graphene oxide, please go and watch my lecture titled Black Goo. And if you're watching this, whatever kind of phone you're using, I can almost promise you that it has graphene oxide in the phone. Oh yeah, since we have water everywhere and our air contains water, chemtrails also contain graphene oxide, right? So you can see that water in many ways can be weaponized, and water is now being used in computers. So therefore, water is artificial intelligence, and majority of this third density, third dimension contains water, right? Oceans everywhere. The ocean is a large conductor. If you ever seen snowflakes, it's like these perfect little crystalline forms. That's water. Basically, water is source. Water is God. Order out of chaos, right? At the beginning, it was nothing but just this dark chaos. Well, guess what? That chaos is water. And try to go a week without water. You wouldn't make it far, right? Water is needed to run your body, which is nothing but bio-intelligence, like a bio form of artificial intelligence or organic artificial intelligence. Some people might not get this, but the moon is AI, right? And you see the effect that the moon has on water. Even when you're in your mother's stomach, right? Before you're born, your mom's blank has to break. So every form of intelligence that is inside of the simulation requires water in order to function. So therefore, the basis, the foundation for all intelligence in this realm, everything that needs to operate in this realm, it has to go through and be operated by water. It might be a hard idea to grasp, but I'm going to leave you with that and let that marinate. Thanks for watching. I love y'all. Peace.
5D Mystery School.